20 years ago, I met David Lim, at the time a Port Authority canine police officer who miraculously survived the collapse of the North Tower. We've kept in touch via social media and reunited recently to reflect on that day, September 11th, 20 years later.
I was at my daughter's recital in school, and she was first clarinet and playing the solo of Bolero. And I remember her playing, and my wife said, "Why are you crying?" She says, "Because there but for the grace of God, I wouldn't be here listening to this." It was beautiful to hear. I mean, it was those little things, that I now appreciate.
David Lim was one of only 16 who survived the collapse of the North Tower.
I was a canine officer, was assigned to the World Trade Center with the Port Authority Police.
On that fateful day, he and his partner Cirrus, a golden lab, had just finished checking trucks for bombs and explosives.
So we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, I feel the building shake, right? You have to remember, I'm in the basement of 2 World Trade Center. Right? And I hear on the radio there's an explosion on the upper levels of 1 World Trade. So my first thought was, I turned around to Cirrus and said, "Oh my God, one must have got by us. Something on a truck got in and they got upstairs." And I said, "Listen, you stay here. I'm gonna go help the people in the other building, and I'll come back and get you."
I'm down in the lobby, I can read you.
But Lim never had the opportunity to go back. As he was helping people evacuate the North Tower, the unthinkable happened.
My best description, it was like a hurricane because of the wind was pancaking at the floors all the way down. I could hear it as it was coming.
Lim had been running down the stairwell when he stopped to help Josephine Harris, a Port Authority employee who was having trouble. That decision saved his life.
I grabbed Josephine, and firefighter Billy Butler grabbed the other side, and we started taking her down. I remember Captain Mazza turning around and saying, "Davey, leave her with the firemen, go out with us," And I was like, "Well, I already have her, I'm right behind you."
Seconds later, 110 floors of concrete and steel collapsed around them. Lim, along with 12 firefighters and 3 civilians, including Harris, were in a pocket of the tower that stayed intact. They were dubbed the survivors of Stairwell B. I met Lim 20 years ago when he first told me his story when I worked at Fox 5. Today, we meet again at the dog park dedicated to his former partner Cirrus, who died in the terrorist attack.
A lot of people for some reason, use the expression that, God saved you for another purpose, that you're special in that regard. And my answer is, I'm no more special than those other 3,000 people that were killed.
After the tragedy, Lim was lauded for his heroism. He's still a hero today. 2 young PAPD officers stopped by, excited to meet him. The self-described introvert found himself thrust into the spotlight after 9/11.
Our heroes will now open the marketplace.
I remember my sergeant told me, he said, "Listen, Dave, I have 1,000 men out there digging, but I only have you, right, and a few other people to go out and tell the story about what happened and represent our department. So I'm asking you to do this."
So I have to speak now for those who can no longer speak. I guess that's where it lies heaviest for me.
I have a unique perspective in that not only am I a police officer that survived the collapse, but I'm an Asian police officer that survived. And I feel a sort of responsibility to be a good role model, to let people know that, that if you want to be a police officer, what you call, as an Asian, it's an honorable profession.
Lim was born in Chinatown and grew up in far Rockaway, Queens, where his parents owned a takeout restaurant. It was there his career came calling.
A lot of police officers would come to, pick up their meals, and they would talk to me and my brother about their stories, about what they do. And I discovered that it wasn't so much like what you see on TV with, cops shooting bad guys. It was more about helping people, people that are hurt, people in accidents, stuff like that, CPR, things like that. So I felt that would be a good profession for me to follow into.
Lim retired in 2014. Today, he and his wife, who are big Met fans, hope to continue their pre-COVID travels visiting ballparks across the country, all the while counting his blessings.
This thing taught me to appreciate the little things in life, but it also taught me not to sweat the little things in life. Like when something bad happens and You know, you go, well, nothing can be that bad compared to what I went through, you know, and it's carried me through for these last 20 years.
I'm Ernabel Demillo for Asian American Life.